Ashley Page here with Five Plan Partners. Thank you for joining us today on our educational vlog. For those of you all that are new to the educational vlog, what we try to do with that as opposed to the Monday vlog is to give you a little bit more deep information on one topic that may help you understand a little bit more about money and markets, as opposed to our Monday vlog where we're trying to tell you what's just important for the week. So we're thrilled you're with us. And the title of our educational vlog today is 5 Continuing Supply Chain Disruptions in 2021 that you may not have heard of that are keeping prices elevated. So let's dive into that a little bit. You know, when a pandemic started, we had a lot of supply chain disruptions, but we have a lot in 2021 that are new, that are putting even more upward pressure on prices. And we thought you may enjoy knowing what some of those are that you may not have heard about. Number one, the nation of Malaysia. And you're thinking, how in the world does a small island nation in the Pacific impact prices here in the United States? And the answer is semiconductor production. That small island nation is one of the largest in the world for semiconductor assembly and testing. And here's the reason that's important. Semiconductors they go into so many high value add products. 2 examples that I can give you are car engines and medical equipment. So if those are being bought in the United States, a disruption in a supply chain in semiconductors, Malaysia is a real bottleneck on semiconductors right now that is impacting industry all over the world. So that's first, one you may not have thought about. Second one you may not have thought about, Vietnam. After we went through the sort of the trade war in the last administration with the Chinese, a lot of the supply chain shifts that American companies made was to take it out of China and put it in Vietnam. Much like Malaysia on semiconductor, they have had a real problem with COVID because as of this point, I believe only 3 to 5% of the nation is vaccinated. So they have had real staffing problems in Vietnam, right on the heels of a lot of American manufacturing shifting there after the Chinese trade war. Third is port congestion in the United States. So many goods come to the United States, as we just highlighted, from the Far East, and they'll come to the port of Los Angeles, and then they'll be railed more into the interior of the United States. The supply chain disruption has created major problems at ports in terms of shipping congestion, mainly on the West Coast. So what will happen with that is that many times, if you have a delivery schedule you have to meet, you may not be able to stop and wait in the port of Los Angeles or another Western port, be it San Francisco, Seattle, say. You may be even better off coming through the Panama Canal and going to a Gulf Coast port, Houston, New Orleans, Mobile, Tampa, around to the eastern seaboard, say Miami. So if you're under pressure to meet a delivery schedule, many times it can be more costly to you because you've got to avoid one port with air congestion and get to another. So that's number 3. Number 4, that may be a little bit more obvious to you, the explosion in e-commerce during the pandemic. That was great for the merchants who were selling it, but we put a lot of strain, much more strain on the supply chain if you were ordering by e-commerce, you weren't going into the store. So because of that massive shift, not only did supply chains had to be strengthened, they had to be augmented. So a lot of the pricing problems you're continuing to see is that the supply chain increase from e-commerce is still catching up with a huge amount of sales demand that came from the pandemic. And number 5, and our last one is, it's extremely difficult for companies to predict demand right now. You know, the whole reason you're supplying something, right, is because consumers are demanding it. Well, if you can't do reliable demand forecasting, what happens with that is that companies are not confident about things like building another warehouse, building another factory, something like a factory to ease a supply chain issue. By the time you do the environmental on it, the architecture on it, build the plant, getting up online, that process can take you 3 to 5 years and cost you a lot of money in terms of capital expenditure. Well, the bottom line of it is if your demand is really a sine wave like this, you're not confident to be able to make a major infrastructure change within your company to ease the supply chain. So if you look at those five in some combination, they are having a lot of upward price pressure in many types of goods in the United States. But those are ones that we thought, well, they're on the back pages and you may not have heard of them, but we thought you would be interested to know those because the next time you're, say, buying a car or doing something where you're buying equipment, those are some impacts and the reason your prices are going up that you may not have thought of. So we hope that this information has been interesting to you and helpful. As always, we love to hear from you on any social media platform. Our clients and friends will forward this information a lot. We really appreciate that, but never hesitate to do the good old-fashioned way and call us here at the office because all of us, Greg, Bobby, Trey, everyone at FivePlan loves to hear from you. So if you have any other questions or follow up about this topic, please feel free to contact us on either social media or feel free to call or come by. Always glad to see you too. So hope you have a great rest of the week and we will look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.